In the heart of Kenya lies the magnificent Mara ecosystem, a sanctuary for an abundance of wildlife. For centuries, this region has been home to one of the greatest natural spectacles on Earth, the Great Wildebeest Migration. However, as human activities expand and encroach upon these lands, the delicate balance between wildlife and humans is being challenged.
Both livestock and wildlife require to move over large distances to survive during this time of climate change and during droughts.
Human activities such as settlement expansion, agriculture and infrastructure development have fragmented the 17 wildlife migratory corridors in the Mara ecosystem.
One of the most emerging threats within the ecosystem is the shrinking habitat connectivity because of large subdivision and upcoming fences within the ecosystem that is interfering with the movement of elephants, of wildlife, not just elephants, but all our wildlife species.
These corridors, essential for the survival of countless species, serve as lifelines connecting vital habitats and ensuring the continuity of the not just great wildebeest migration, but the survival of the entire animal species. As the human population around and within the Mara ecosystem continues to grow, demarcation of land and more so fencing is proving to be a challenge by barricading the already well set out and mapped migration corridors for the wildlife.
Solution to this problem, promoting more conservancies, encouraging communities to implement their traditional practices, which was based on open grazing rather than privatized in small pieces.
As the migratory pathways are disrupted, wildlife faces numerous challenges. They encounter increased risk of poaching, increased competition for resources, and reduced access to essential breeding and calving grounds. Without these corridors, the Mara ecosystem's delicate web of life starts to unravel.
The truth is, we have enough corridors. The only problem is people have taken up the corridors. People are using the corridors. Corridors are mapped. Not now. They're actually in the plans. All of them are gazetted. We don't want anything new. These things are there. So we only want to go back as a government. Now, with the help of the conservancies, we'll just go back and reclaim them. The only thing is we need the county governments in this one. Because since the county governments came, it's like a bit of money is now free, flowing, and people are doing things. So we only want to bring them in and go into their plans, And we go and tell them, please, this one is a corridor.
The local communities have taken proactive measures to mitigate the impact of human activities on wildlife migratory corridors. Through collaborative initiatives with conservation organizations and government agencies, they have established community conservancies, implemented sustainable land use practices, and embraced wildlife-based tourism.
We are finding more wildlife within the conservancies, more than the protected area itself. So the best we can do is to sit down with the communities, with the conservancy owners, and look for way forwards. Really talk conservation. It's no longer about tourism revenue alone. We've got to think of other ways of helping conservancies deal with this thing.
Those lands that are yet not under conservation, we will encourage through the conservancy model, we will encourage those landowners to put their land together and bring it back to conservation so that we can be able to increase that. Even if there is no one contiguous landmass that is still a conservancy and they are a little bit more fragmented, they can be connected. And thirdly is to make sure that the landowners accrue direct benefits from these activities so that they see a reason to choose conservation land use, conservation as a land use than to do agriculture and fence.
In recent years, these conservation measures have shown promising results. Wildlife populations are rebounding and migratory species are once again finding their ancestral paths.
We are looking for space for wildlife. We are no longer going to think of getting new national parks. new natural reserves. So the way forward is conservancies. And this one we will do.
Through education, awareness and cooperation, the people of the Mara ecosystem can open the way for a future where humans and wildlife can coexist harmoniously.
In the areas where we have conservancies, there is very minimal fencing, except perhaps around the households, just to protect the stock at night. Outside of that, wildlife are able to move over large distances. Livestock are also able to move from one place to another because rainfall and pasture and water is not evenly distributed. So the whole idea of creating a conservancy is to ensure that we don't end up with a Masai Mara that is fenced, like we have seen in other closed systems, where it becomes so expensive to manage and wildlife populations become easy to collapse because of inbreeding and because of inadequate food.
The challenges with the Mara ecosystem faces other migratory corridors countrywide.
The migratory corridors that are well documented by Kenya Wildlife Service and the Wildlife Research Institute is also taken into consideration to ensure that there is a concerted effort between stakeholders, including the county government, because if the spatial plan can link to the conservancy's management plans and the overall national plans, I think we can conserve wildlife.
The path to enhancing wildlife and human coexistence in the Mara ecosystem is not without challenges. But through collective efforts, we can ensure that future generations witness the awe-inspiring wonders of the great wildebeest migration while preserving the fragile harmony between humans and the natural world. For K24 from Masai Mara National Reserve, I'm David Kagina.